The Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, or Quad, is a strategic security dialogue involving Australia, India, Japan, and the United States, which is maintained through bilateral talks. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, with the assistance of Australian Prime Minister John Howard, Indian Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, and US Vice President Dick Cheney, launched the discussion in 2007. Exercise Malabar, a combined military exercise of unprecedented magnitude, ran alongside the talk. The diplomatic and military agreement was largely perceived as a response to China's growing economic and military dominance, and the Chinese government responded to the quadrilateral conversation by issuing official diplomatic objections to its members, referring to it as Asian NATO. Prime Minister Abe suggested the Quadrilateral Security Debate, or Quadrilateral Initiative, in early 2007, in which India would participate in a formal multilateral dialogue with Japan, the US, and Australia. Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is credited with initiating an American, Japanese, Australian, and Indian defense agreement based on the principle of a democratic peace. The quadrilateral was planned to create an Asian arc of democracy, with nations in Central Asia, Mongolia, the Korean Peninsula, and other Southeast Asian countries eventually joining. Nearly all the countries on China's border, save China itself. As a result, some detractors, like former U.S. State Department official Morton Abramowitz, have labeled the effort anti-Chinese, while others have dubbed it a democratic challenge to the anticipated Chinese century, which is being waged by Asian countries in collaboration with the U.S. The quadrilateral was considered an Asian NATO by China, which had previously preferred the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The agreement may lead to armed confrontation, according to Daniel Twining of the German Marshall Fund of the United States, or it might establish a lasting basis for peace if China becomes a democratic leader in Asia. When Australia backed down from Quad, fears about China's military spending and missile capabilities had pushed Australia toward a defense agreement with the US, as outlined in the 2007 Canberra Defence Blueprint. Sandy Gordon of the Australian Strategic Policy Institute had recommended selling uranium to India based on similar concerns, as it appeared that the US was supporting it as a counter to a rising China. China's fury over the quadrilateral, on the other hand, prompted concern in Australia, even before the agreements were signed. Even before visiting Japan, Kevin Rudd paid a visit to China's Foreign Minister, Yang Jiechi, and later organized a meeting between Yang and Australia's Foreign Minister, Stephen Smith, during which Australia unilaterally announced it would not be proposing a second round of talks between the four partners. Within Australia, this decision was attributed to the unpredictability of China-US ties, as well as the reality that China, Australia's primary economic partner, was not its primary strategic partner. Rudd may have also anticipated regional conflict escalation and tried to defuse it through an Asia-Pacific Union. Restarting Quad in 2017. During the ASEAN conference in November, Japan invited Australia, India, and the United States to conduct a combined foreign ministers meeting. In November, US President-elect Donald Trump and Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe met and agreed to continue a free and open Indo-Pacific strategy, which originated with US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. The pact was seen as a response to China's Belt and Road Initiative, with Chinese Minister Zheng Shuang stressing that such global efforts should foster collaboration among nations concerned and not be transformed into exclusionary frameworks. The visit coincided with a gathering of officials from Japan, India, Australia, and the United States to discuss military cooperation ahead of the ASEAN and East Asia summits in November 2017. The meeting featured a discussion of China's growing influence in the South China Sea, which might indicate President Trump's interest in resurrecting a formal quadrilateral. What is Quad Plus? In March 2020, representatives from New Zealand, South Korea, and Vietnam met with Quad members to discuss their varied responses to the ongoing COVID-19 epidemic. The presence of delegates from New Zealand, South Korea, and Vietnam, the latter being the first nation from Southeast Asia ASEAN to join, was regarded as yet another move to increase the Quad's prominence, while also highlighting China's rising danger in the area. This new alliance of significant Indo-Pacific governments, spearheaded by the United States, was dubbed Quad Plus. In May 2021, Brazil and Israel, two nations without a Pacific Ocean border, were asked to participate in the Plus format to debate the distribution of COVID-19 vaccines.